Hi guys, welcome to this video. This is an introduction to Windows subsystem for Linux. Since it provides you various advantages over your VM or your dual boot, so you don't require dual boot and VM for running Linux commands under Windows 10. But it does not provide you any graphical interface. It is only a command line interface. You can open up terminals, fire up some Linux commands, and interface with your programs. So you can do stuffs like that. I have also described it in the blog that I have posted. You can find that link of the blog here in the video description. So now we'll start with the installation process. First of all, you need to go to turn Windows features on and off. So here you will find that you have to enable this Windows subsystem for Linux. So once you enable it, it will search for the required files and it will take some time, apply the changes, and it will ask you to restart your PC. Now after restart, we need to open our command prompt, which we can do like this, and then we need to search for WSL. We need to type WSL. Now it will say Windows subsystem for Linux has no installed distributions. So for installing the distribution, we need to go to Microsoft Store, and in the Microsoft Store we can search for the particular distribution we want. For example, Ubuntu or Mint, whatever we want. So we will go to Ubuntu. Ubuntu, there are LTS versions. LTS version are long time support for nearly 5 years. So we can go for that, Ubuntu LTS 20.04, and then it will take some time. Now we will install it. So based on your internet speed, it can take some time. The installation has started. It is downloading. We will wait for the installation to get completed. It is nearly 453 MBs. It has got successfully installed. Now we'll launch it. So it will take some time. Now it will ask you to enter a username. I'll just enter Ubuntu, and it will ask for a password. I'll keep it empty. Or maybe it requires a password, so I'll give it TEMPPWD. Okay, the new password has been updated successfully. Now we are into the Linux system. So now we can execute our commands, like we can do ls to see where we are, or pwd. We are in home Ubuntu. There are no files here. We can see the hidden files also. So this is it. Now we can check whether we are connected to internet or not. So we'll ping. The ping is successful, so we can access the internet from inside this Ubuntu terminal. Now we can run other commands also. For example, we can touch a file named hello world.c, and we can vi that hello world.c. Then we can just write a simple code. Include, I'll be including IO stream, and then stdio.h. Then I'll just write the main int main. Then I'll write maybe just printf and hello world. Mm, then maybe I'll just return 0. This is just for showing you that we can achieve this compilation etc. from inside this Linux terminal, and we can invoke other Linux commands directly. So we'll just save it, and then we can compile it using gcc hello world dot c into uh, hello is the executable. So it will say that GCC has not been installed, so we can install it using the command it has shown us. So the here the package manager is apt or apt, so we can install GCC using that. We have to enter the password. It is 123 MB. We need to install it. Yes. Now it will get the updates from archive.ubuntu.com, and once it gets done, we can go and compile our program. Some security updates are missing. Okay, no issue. Then we can. So there were some problems installing the GCC. Some packages were it was not able to fetch. So I ran this sudo apt-get update. Now it is connecting to the same archive.ubuntu.com and fetching the packages. Now it is downloading the packages successfully, and let's see. So now it has successfully downloaded the package. Now we will go and try to compile. So now we can see it has compiled successfully. Here is our program. Hello. We can launch it by using /hello, and here it is your printout. Uh, our program is has been compiled and it has run successfully. So after once you have, if you want to close it, you can write just exit or just close the terminal. So after that, if you want to start it, you can go to the desktop or wherever you want to launch the terminal. You just have to hold the shift key and then right click, and then you can open Linux shell here. So it will open it here and you can get the pwd. So like this. One more thing that you can do is you can debug the programs using GDB. For that, you can install the package GDB. You can go sudo apt-get install GDB. It will ask for the password. You provide the password, and then it will uh, need another 88.5 MB in the disk. Now it is fetching the packages and installing. Your GDB has been installed. You After installing GDB, we can see the version, etc. I have made one more program that is stringchar.c. You can see it here, the code. Here, we have stored a string in a array, and then we are serially printing it on the terminal. So we will close it, and then we need to compile it. So for compiling it for debug purposes, you need to use the flag g -g. So now we will uh, write the program name, which is this program. This was our file name. This is the name of the program what we want. For seeing the verbose information, you need to pass this -v flag also, and now it will show the verbose information. What are the steps it is taking? and how it is invoking all the programs to compile the code. Now you can see our code has been compiled, which is this string. If we run it, uh, we can see that all of the characters in the string have been printed serially. So now we will debug this program. For debugging, you need to write GDB and then the name of the program. So now we are into the debug session. In the debug session, we can do various things. For example, we can put breakpoint at line number 1, and here we can display the info. We can display the info at the breakpoint, so it will say at what address it is, and then we can choose to run the program, and it will start it from the beginning. The program has ended. Yes. So you can see it is at the breakpoint, and so from the breakpoint we can choose to continue to run the program. So once it runs, there are no breakpoints afterwards, so the program exits normally. So guys, this was a very quick tutorial about installing the Windows subsystem for Linux and how you can quickly get started with running your Linux based commands. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and please do not forget to subscribe and press the notification bell. Thank you. See you in the next one. Bye.